It's your boy, Ed the Dread, and you are tuned in to the Ed the Dread podcast. Yes! Woo! Welcome back to another Money Mouth Monday. We're going to jump straight into the topic of discussion for the week, which is a 40-year-old man and an 18-year-old woman a predatory situation? Yes. The Whatever podcast will have you thinking that that's all good. But I'm going to jump into this because it's just mind-boggling what you see these gentlemen say. So first and foremost, I'm 40 and I just left working in a high school scenario for 5 years. So I've been around 18-year-olds. Have any of y'all that are adults kicked it with a modern 18-year-old? Like, I'm not talking about fucking 18-year-old from pre-computer days. I mean, an 18-year-old nowadays who's probably had an iPad or cell phone since they were in like third grade. Any of y'all kicked it with them that are saying that like you could date them? Because like, bro, it's a whole different planet that they're on. Okay, now if you're a 40-year-old and you're stuck in the phone world too, then that's another story. But I mean, an 18-year-old that I've seen, and I don't think they change much when they go to college. Because I remember when I left high school and went to college, like it was just you're alone now and you're doing the same shit. It's just you don't have parental supervision and you're growing up and eating different, But an 18-year-old nowadays is probably doing this, setting their phone down, getting four of their homies and doing all sorts of stupid fucking dances, bro. Like, and then flipping the tassel on their goddamn graduation cap. Fuck, man. So it's like when these dudes talk about this, oh yeah, a 40-year-old with an 18-year-old, like, let's talk about what they would talk about. Because, every single day in the classroom as a 40-year-old, like, you would feel old. You'd be like, oh yeah, remember like that fucking song that came out? I'll tell you straight up, all the mixtapes that I do, if you check, Ed the Dread Music, you check out my mixtapes, I had to just recently, the last one, take suggestions from kids on tracks to remix because they didn't know any of the things I was remaking. And they were all like hits when I was their age, So it's like your music is going to be nothing the same. The movies you watched, nothing the same. You're gonna be like, oh yeah, remember that? Like unless, like I said, unless you're some rich ass motherfucker who's like just flying around young chicks because you're predatory, then fucking it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But like, there's nothing for y'all to even talk about. They can't even make it to the club yet. You can't even like what y'all gonna talk about. Now this actually came to me due to the fact that I sell coconuts and I do a lot of work with coconut trees. Again, I consider myself a coconut farmer. Shout out to Coconut Willie, again, the homie that gave me a lot of knowledge on taking care of the coconut tree and, utilizing it for not just the product of the water, but for, the essence of life that it is. Because they're on a moon cycle like women, they fruit all year like women. This analogy holds true. The coconut you want isn't the super young one, right? The fucking 18-year-old coconut hanging on the tree, the water isn't, it's not even sweet yet. It's not, I wouldn't say sour, but it's like super alkaline. It's not sweet. The super old nut is like the water, it shakes inside. It's effervescent. It's bubbly. It's not the greatest. So the one you want is like the 30 to 40-year-old one, or we'll say maybe 28 to 40-year-old one. The one that's got sweet water and then a little bit of meat too. You can enjoy both spoon meat and a savory, delicious drink, right? So I would consider that like how they say women age like a fine wine. I don't drink. And the wine that I served as a bartender was out of a box. So I don't give a shit about wine. You know what I'm saying? But coconuts, it's got to age. They got to age like a coconut, dog. So I actually have pulled 2 clips from the Whatever podcast that just popped up in my TikTok feed.
Why is it that a 40-year-old and 18-year-old can't make the decision to get married? Right?
I never
Hang
said they
on.
could not.
Or hook up or
Get
whatever it
married.
is they want to do.
Or hook up. Yeah,
Right?
hook up is probably what you want to do. You're not
But
trying to
the
marry.
18-year-old can nullify the vote of the 40-year-old if you think that the disparity in their brains are that bad.
You keep bringing up the voting argument when
It's
I never
laughable.
mentioned voting.
I
at
know,
all.
I mentioned it because I'm giving you an analogy for why your argument's absurd. I'm giving you an analogy by pointing out this thing over here exists and is fine.
Okay. First and foremost, homeboy, fuck your analogies. All right? Analogies are bias, right? You're going to try to choose something that like clearly sways to your opinion. So your analogy is just going to be bias off break. Second, I was a math teacher, dog. We got numbers. We got statistics. You know, I don't even know the quote from Jay-Z because I never listened to him. Nas is the man. But he had a quote about fucking numbers and something lying and numbers not lying. And numbers don't lie, dog. So he wants to talk about nullifying the vote. All right. The reality of an 18-year-old going to vote is very slim. Okay? The reality of a 40-year-old going to vote in America is pretty slim. I ain't never gone to vote. It's a piece of shit. The Electoral College does it all anyway, right? But if you look at the statistics for the young voter age group, which is like 18 to 29, only like 30 to 35% of them go to vote. All right? So 30 to 35% of 18 to 29-year-olds. So, you know, let's just say, I don't know, 5% of 18-year-olds go to vote. That's nothing, dude. That's nothing. So the whole nullification of vote thing, that's just some bullshit, right? I would beg to ask how many single 40-plus-year-old males would be willing to marry or date or just try to fuck an 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old. I would probably say more than 5%, like we're giving that 18-year-old thing, you know, a rounded estimate. I'd say probably like 25. Bro, people are fucking perverts now. It's absurd. So, his whole fucking analogy thing is just bullshit.
Because Schrodinger's feminist, who can both vote and is a girl boss and is an ass kicker, could do everything at 18 years old, suddenly is matched up with an evil 40-year-old Sith Lord who just wants to mangle her fucking brain so he can sleep with her. Is she competent enough to deal with this ass-kicking feminist? Or do we need to raise the age of consent so that this hyper-predatory Sith Lord can't mangle her brain?
Okay. That's what I'm saying. It's like the guy's laughable. He's just fucking using big words now. The Schrodinger cat. What the fuck does that have to do with what he's saying? I mean, I guess maybe he's all, the ass kicking, feminist, where he thinks she's probably just supposed to be at home taking care of a family by 18. But Schrodinger's cat, oh my God, it's like an analogy. It's not even a real experiment. It's an analogy experiment to prove some shit with quantum mechanics. Like, I'm pretty sure it's to prove that your conscious act of looking at the smallest particle doesn't change that particle, right? So it's like, oh, there's a cat in a box, right? Is the cat alive or is the cat dead? Because there's also a decaying atom that emits radioactive gas once it's decayed, but you don't know how long it takes to decay it. So because you haven't opened the box and you haven't looked in there, the cat is both alive and dead. But that's fucking analogy because, like, what? You got, like, however much chance of the thing being alive or dead. There's a probability. There's other shit. So that was used because in quantum physics, people were trying to explain phenomenon at that level. Like, your conscious effort of looking at it changes it. But he was trying to say that that isn't the case. So what the fuck does that have to do with this argument of like a 40-year-old trying to fuck an 18-year-old, bro? Because this shit is just crazy. He's just using big words to try to confuse chicks that might not understand him. Sith Lord, I think everybody might understand that, but that's just a stupid adjective to make you think, oh man, the person that he's talking about is super evil. Ass kicking feminist 18-year-old, like, bruh. Are you serious? Again, do you know 18-year-olds? You're 18-year-old ass-kicking feminist? No, man, 18-year-old fucking school lunch eating TikToker. The fucking guy's just crazy, bro. What I have seen a clip of, and I just couldn't find it on TikTok, and like I said, I wasn't about to fucking go search the whatever podcast to find it, but a woman asked him, because he's got daughters, one of these women asked him if he would let his daughter date a 40-year-old man. And he said he didn't want his daughter to date any man. It was like the most bullshit answer. Oh, I wouldn't want my daughter to date any man. It's like, no, answer the question, motherfucker. Would you want your 18-year-old daughter dating a 40-year-old? Don't give us any man, because you'd be fine if the guy was fucking her age. Don't act stupid. So the guy's just bullshitting. I also was able to pull up a clip. Like I said, I was actually kind of looking through TikTok for the guy about his daughter, and this was just another bullshit thing that I saw. So we're gonna take a look at this, because this is the guy that runs that podcast. Just bullshitting.
Okay, Brian is saying
Laughable.
that the main reason why older men go for younger women is solely because they're attractive, better looking than older women.
Not solely. There's
Okay,
other reasons.
then that's one reason.
Not
That's a
solely.
big one.
Personally,
That's
I
a big one.
believe the other reasons why an older gentleman would want to go for a young girl that just turned 18, 19, 20 is because they can have more influence on her. They can manipulate her more easily. She's more vulnerable. More so than a woman who is maybe 25, 26, 27, has had a lot of experience in relationships and
Maybe not even 20.
experience with men.
Or we just don't want to date a woman who's been ran through and has a bunch of emotional
Is
trauma
every
and
woman that's over
baggage.
20 years old ran
No, but
through though?
the older you are, the more likelihood to have had a higher partner
Can
count.
men
and to have more
can men
baggage.
be ran through?
Men can't be ran through.
Why?
No, they can't.
Why?
So
And then
how
he
is
just
this-
laughs.
It's
Yeah.
different.
That's
It's
what I'm
typically
saying.
different.
It's all just hilarious. The only reason, it's one of the big reasons, because they're young, and because, like I said, if you're 40 and you get money, bro, an 18-year-old, a 20-year-old dude, most of them ain't got shit, and chicks don't want to do shit. They just want to fucking hang out and like get a bunch of shit for doing nothing. It's like the American way now. How much can I get for nothing? So by the time you're 18 and mom and dad go get a job, I mean, I got family members at 18. Mom and dad say get a job, and they go, fuck it, I'm moving out. I ain't getting a job. Like, I'm going to do what I do. Psh, it's happened, So the average 18-year-old chick probably doesn't want to have to get a job. She probably would rather a dude just pay for all her shit. That's real. Basically, homie is looking for a chick who hasn't had a lot of sexual partners, because he's had a bunch and he don't want a chick that's had as many as him. So he laughs when he says a dude can't get ran through, because he knows, these guys know that the chick, they know. He's just like, oh yeah, and laughs it off. It's like clearly a one-sided show, right? And the reality of all this is that what they're talking about is just so shallow. Right? Like, you want to marry or you want to date someone based on a vast, large base on, how youthful they look and how many sexual partners they have. That's the fucking most shallow thing ever. I mean, we've already got a country like 50% divorce rate. So, I mean, whatever, I guess shoot for less than 50. But what you gonna do? Like, it's guaranteed for failure. All right, so Ed the Dread here telling you that a 40-year-old dating an 18-year-old is predatory as fuck. You got nothing in common except for genitals, dog. So y'all on these all podcast shows, stop trying to bullshit and make it sound like this is a proper thing and you don't have a problem with it, because you know damn well if your daughter was 18 getting rode out by some 40-year-old dude who's just taking her out to eat and getting her drunk when she's too young to, you'd be pissed. That was your Ed the Dread podcast. Yes, if you liked it, click like. If you care, share. Hit the subscribe, baby, because we on. And we'll be back next Money Mouth Monday. A hooey ho, Kako.